start streaming the event. There we go.
All right, and it looks like we're live. We're really sorry about the delay, but yeah, today it's Bill and myself. We're talking about Airsoft Stereotypes, among other things. I'm sure we'll get to video games sometime later.
Yeah, we always somehow get back to video games.
But basically, there's two big Airsoft stereotypes, and correct me if I'm wrong or if there's additional ones to throw in there. Essentially, the stereotypes are Speedsoft and Milsim, and we actually found a really good photo to illustrate this difference, which I'm going to pull up right now. Let's see, and there we go. So, as you can see, we've got the Speedsofter there on the left, with the t-shirt, the shorts,
the good representation of the Di-4.
Yeah, and the triple trigger, which I've never actually seen anywhere. I've seen double triggers way back in paintball.
I think it's just making fun of the double trigger.
Yeah, I think so too. And then you got the Milsimer on the right. You've got the the OpsCore helmet or the Fast helmet. You've got the GP NVG-18s, was it panoramic nods that I've never seen a real one in Airsoft, obviously. But yeah, you got all that legit kit, all that super operator, flop raider stuff, and yeah, those are the two big stereotypes in Airsoft currently. And I feel like there's a couple more, like the idiot with the Nerf weapons. That would be myself.
Yeah, there's the guy that thinks he knows everything about tactics but knows absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that is always fun to see, like someone like overthinking a corner and then getting shot by someone who just goes around it.
And I mean, usually those go in hand in hand. Like it's the same guy that's always like way too serious about everything.
Yeah, so
like we have to take that car right now. On my left, hold go. Like they're just like throwing up hand signals.
Yeah.
Like, what are you? What?
No, it's fine. I've seen that actually at Milsim events too. It's like you get on a corner and you don't know what's around the other side. Like you assume like there's a couple other enemy players, and then some guy comes up and starts yelling about like how you're going to take this corner. It's like, dude, like now everyone knows we're coming around the corner. Yeah.
Or it's like you go around the corner and it's Han Solo in Episode 4 when he's chasing the star. Because run away.
So yeah, let us know in the comments if there are any other Airsoft stereotypes you guys would like to address. Chairsoft, that's a good one. Essentially, folks that are obviously a little bit out of shape, like myself, who
God, I'm spilling water everywhere.
Well, at least it's water and not something else. But,
true.
Yeah. Chairsofters. I mean, what would like a good explanation from chairsofters be? Because in my mind,
someone who has all the gear but just sits behind their computer telling everyone how to play.
Good example. Because yeah, that's the photo I always see is like someone in an office chair with like all their
Meal
Team
6.
Meal Team 6. Yeah. Yeah, like a lot of like the keyboard warriors that like will say really mean things with very little background and knowledge of what they're talking about.
Yeah,
we get a lot of that here.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing is camera quality questionable. Okay. Someone was saying the noob. I mean, noobs are to keep the sport growing, you have to have noobs, and it's all about bringing those noobs up to experienced.
If you want the stereotype of like what the noob looks like, it's usually not the fancy paintball mask, like the $15 one that's like thing and always has like the dangling neck protector or something.
Yeah.
Cross draw vest, and then it's usually varies between jeans and sweatpants.
Oh, this is a good one. Someone said the gear princess, and we call it here gear whores. But yeah, someone who's got like, the most legit gear or the most expensive gear will not stop talking about it. Like, I wish I could afford a set of cry pants, and I've heard they're unbelievably comfortable. However,
although at the same time, I'm like, I can't justify spending that much for pants.
Well, here's the thing is, I spent I think it's like $200 or $180 on a set of triple-aught design pants, and I use those for everything Airsoft related.
I tried to get triple-aught design pants, and they just don't fit me right.
It's tough. Yeah, I wouldn't want to spend that much money on a set of pants without trying them on first.
Like, my go-to's always been 511 pants. They always seem to fit me, well, and they're reasonably priced, although I will admit all the ones that I bought are because either someone worked there, so I got 50% off, or I had some other discount. I got 50% off. I didn't pay a full price for any of them.
One set that works real well, I'm actually wearing the Condor Stealth Operator pants. You can just see the knee there.
All right.
Yeah, but they do have inserts for internal knee pads, which is why I like them.
They're very similar to the 511 Strike pants. I think that's basically what they're emulating.
But these are affordable.
Yeah.
And we sell them here at AirsoftYeah.com.
The Strikes aren't cheap.
We've got Raptor Airsoft saying Airsoft stereotype, Captain Milsim. I assume that would be someone who's overly Milsim or takes it too far.
The one that acts like it's real army, but it's like, dude, you're shooting a BB at someone.
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that statement because it's supposed to be Milsim, military simulation.
I understand that, but it's like to a point. Like, I know it's part of the immersion, like the Milsim West or whatever, but like some of them when it's like, okay, I'm your platoon, so do push-ups, I'd be like, no.
Yeah.
I paid money for this not to do stuff like this. If I wanted to do this, I would enlist.
There's another stereotype and called the cheater. You know, someone who cheats a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Someone actually mentioned, like, why not just use jeans? Like, they work, they're comfortable.
Well, yeah, no. I've actually wore jeans for a very long time. Like, I did.
And when you play Airsoft?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I would do, like, the black t-shirt with, like, a jeans, but, like, I'd have the plate carrier and everything like that. So, I mean, the only problem I've had with jeans is they're not stretchy.
Yeah. Well, I would say, like, I don't wear jeans as much just because, like, when you get shot in them, it stings a little bit more than normal. That's why I like the triple aught design pants.
Well, like, and also the breathability on them is not not the best.
Yes.
That's why, like, the triple aughts, 511, the Condor, like, any true, like, tactical pant is a lot more breathable.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, let's talk about the cheater real quick, because there are some folks, you know, I mean, back when I used to play a lot more regularly, you know, I feel like when I go out, like, to a regular, you know, public day game, you know, usually be like one or two players there that like were cheating regularly, or that I'd have to watch out for, or I'd have to like keep shooting because it wouldn't go out. And you know, a lot of times, you know, when you think someone's cheating, you know, there could be so many other things going on, like it bounced off a piece of cover you didn't see, or they didn't feel it, or any number of things.
There's only a few times when you clearly know. It's like when you're within 10 feet of them, there's no cover in it at all.
Oh, this is a good one. The camper.
Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely an Airsoft stereotype. However, camping does work, and it's a viable tactic in a lot of Milsim games or even CQB games. I actually, back when me and my team used to play regularly, it was the Airsoft team I'm on is about half filled with military vets, and you know, we would basically train how we normally play, and it would be very aggressive. And I remember going up against a team that their style was more, or at least how it's described to me, was more like insurgents in Iraq, where they would find a couple places that
ambush.
had really good spots to ambush, and they would basically spider hole it. They would wait for you to come through point blank and then get you. And they were very effective at that. So camping, you know, I can see how it stinks, but it's also a legitimate tactic they have to deal with. So, I mean, adapt and overcome. That's my opinion.
I mean, it's like I'm not used to. I know sometimes I have the play style of not camping, but I start overthinking stuff. Like that private game a few weeks ago, I was up in the tower of the hospital. I forget what it was up in at SC. And I'm sitting there.
It's on Supply Depot.
No, not Supply Depot. On I forget the other one.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
But I'm up there, and Tim comes in, and I turn, and he's like, "Nope," and he runs away. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, "Okay." I was trying to debate. I'm like, which route am I going to take out of this building? I spent like 2 or 3 minutes trying to figure out which route. And the one route I pick, I get shot.
Unacceptable. You guys are coming up with a lot of stereotypes that I don't think either of us thought of. That's Frank in the background, if you can't tell. What's up? Oh, yeah, you owe me money. Excellent work, Frank.
Thanks for the tacos. Me and Josh actually had this plan to come up in here and just scream profanities and do all kinds of crazy stuff.
But no, because we don't have a bleep button.
I know. We figured it'd make you cry and Walter would be mad. So
yeah, I would cry like a little girl. Okay, so you guys have a lot of good stereotypes that Bill and I haven't thought of before, so I'm just going to mention a couple real quick. The guy who won't stop talking about how legit his kit is, the rusher, the call your hits guy, the hero wannabe, the scaredy cat, and the Call of Duty guy, or maybe the spawn trapper. Those are all really good.
What would the Call of Duty guy be?
I'm not actually sure. Maybe it's just someone who likes Call of Duty, talks about kill streaks, and throws knives across maps. I don't know. I'm not sure.
You know, speaking of throwing knives, I think it was like the first time I was at Game Pub where we played the Hunger games, and I chased after Greg with my knife, and he turned around and shot me, and it was you who's like, you should have just thrown it at him. And I was like, I didn't think of that at the time.
Yeah. Because
it was a cold steel inside a little bit of heft. I could have just been like, and
well, I'll be honest, those cold steel knives, I've actually been hit in the face by those without a paintball
well, he's
mask
running
on.
away.
Okay, fair play.
And we all agreed to.
Yeah, it's big boy rules. So, but those can hurt a little bit if you throw them with good force and hit a sensitive spot. So, let us know what you think the Call of Duty guy, what that would mean. But yeah, I feel like the rusher, that would be a lot more related to Speedsoft.
Yeah.
Because usually right out the gate, they're like marching as far down the field as they can.
The Princess one, I was thinking that one, not necessarily one time like, oh, my kit's so cool. The Princess one, my thought was, doesn't ever want to get their gear dirty.
Oh, yeah.
Like me, I don't mind getting my gear dirty. The thing is, I don't usually do is I don't like to go prone just because how my magazines are arranged. Then my back, I'm just like hunched over, laying on the ground because all my magazines are on my stomach.
Sorry, I was trying to pay attention to you, but they got some good ones.
Okay, well,
someone actually did mention like the guy who brings too many nags to the field.
Oh, me.
Yeah, that's there. And Zane Case is a good example because it is really hot right now. The it's hot guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's been a lot of that going around.
The gas blowback master race guy.
Yep. The Nerf guy. This guy. Polar Star guys. The Axeman. Well played, Tiger Airsoft. The plastic gearbox. That's rough.
Ooh.
The can I borrow your stuff stereotype. Been there, done that.
Never had that.
Well, aren't you lucky?
Well, I don't ever have stuff for people to borrow, so.
Mr. Walmart BBs. That's a good one. Who said that?
Those
Raptor Airsoft. Nice job.
Those are good, though, for grenade shells.
Yeah, good for grenade shells, good for claymores, good for anything that's not going to like put a BB down a barrel.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. GBBR Master Race Guy. Nice Rise Games.
And by the way, the too many mags, it actually worked out because I only had to reload like a total of 2 times when we were at SC Village. So I just moved them around.
Well, aren't you a hot pot of coffee?
I am a very hot pot. Well, it is kind of warm in here anyway. So
yeah, it is really warm in here. Pistol Dude. Yeah, well, actually, I've been seeing a lot more of those, not surprisingly, at Pistol Shotgun Nights.
Well, I mean, the thing is, the pistols, like, it is kind of fun. I've done it once before where everyone else has, like, the rifles and stuff. I'm like, screw it. I'm going out with a couple mags and a pistol and just, like, you know, light plate carrier, like nothing at all, and just run as fast as I can trying to get people.
It's kind of liberating not wearing a plate carrier and just wearing, like, stuff in your belt or hips. Like, it's pretty fun.
Well, that's why I like the Hunger Games, is because it's like, okay, gonna get shot no matter what. No reason to have this excess weight. I need to be able to run away fast.
Speaking of the Hunger Games, it sucks to be that guy that not only doesn't find a knife or a gun, but you only find a grenade. And when we were playing a game pod,
That happened to me, dude.
well, when we were playing a game pod, when you didn't throw the knife at Greg, the game after that, all I could find was a grenade.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then I ran into Greg, and I threw the grenade, and he came around the corner, shot me in the face, but then the grenade blew up behind his head, and we both just went down like a sack of potatoes.
No.
Yeah.
When we did the Hunger Games at SC Village when Red Wolf Tim was there,
Mhm.
I found like a tornado, and I was like, what am I going to do with this? So I'm running with it. I have the pin pulled ready to go. And I see, I forget who it was, I see him, I'm like, nope. And I just go like that and dive into a doorway.
The most American operator, I can believe that. Exactly, full mil-spec gear, but refuses to step in a puddle. Yeah, that's. I find that very funny when Milsimers, don't want to get their gear dirty. It's like, I feel like gear has character, way more character when it's been through some stuff.
I just don't like stepping in puddles because I hate having wet socks.
Okay. The Terminator, the one who doesn't call hit. That's very similar to what we were talking about earlier, like the cheater, and that makes sense. The person who slides around on knee pads constantly. Our former boss was one of those.
He was one of
folks.
them. I only did it, I think, once or twice because GamePod's really like the only place other than like Taxi, but I don't go to Taxi, that you can really do it. It is kind of fun at times because you feel like an action hero.
Yeah, no, it is really awesome. Daniel, who was our former boss who would do that a lot, was actually really good at it, and it was effective, and it looked awesome. I've only tried it a couple times, and those few tries are why I don't ever do it again, because I face planted. Yeah. And I had a friend who, the first couple times he tried to do it at Tax City, he tried to do the knee slide on one knee, and he did the one knee, and then just cracked his face into the concrete. I felt bad, but I had to laugh.
I did a GamePod and the good camera work made it look really good. Where I slid in behind the car and then just stood up and just...
That was pretty good. I do remember that. The dual wielder. That is more fun than you would think and less effective than you would assume.
Yeah, because it's like, you're like, which one do I look down the sights? I don't really know.
Well, one way that I've felt that it's effective is like, let's say I have to cover 2 doors and I have 2 pistols. I'll put one on each door and then I'll look at the one that's most likely to go through. Like if I have to fire, and then all I have to do is just look back to make sure someone's there, and then I'll shoot the second one. So it does work. This one you'll like. The no sleeve guy.
Whatever.
You did it!
I know I did it, and you know what? Even though I got shot to pieces, because it's a CQB environment, I'm happy I did it. It was so hot in that building, dude. Remember, I took out my plate carrier, and it was like, my shirt went from olive drab to like forest green from the amount of sweat I had on it.
the person who shows off where they got hit and how bad it hurt. Now, yeah, I've definitely seen those people. However, there are a couple doozies out there that are actually worth being shown off. Like if someone gets hit by a BB and it's stuck in their skin, it's like, damn, damn, yeah, that's rough.
It's like popping a pimple.
Like, remember when I got, like, shot in between the face protection and the eye protection?
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't want to show it off, but every time I walked by someone, they're like, oh, it looks like you got shot. I was like, where? Wait, what are you talking about? I'm like, of course I did. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
It's like, no kidding.
It was like you got shot. No.
Wait, what, where? Tell me. Anyway, the Thunderbeat guy, the no-sleeve guy, the Commander. Yeah. You know what's funny? Speaking of the Commander, and someone mentioned earlier Captain Milsim is a stereotype. The few guys that do that kind of upset me are like when I've seen this before when I've gone to Milsim games, and you'll see it like in the guys who choose to be NCOs, the guys who choose to be officers. There's one guy in particular I'm thinking of where they will scream at the top of their lungs, move forward, even though like everyone who's rushing this one sector is just getting shot to pieces and they're going nowhere. And these guys keep screaming at people to stop being wusses and move up. They're never the guys that actually move up with them. They're only like every time I saw this one guy at these. I think it was Red Storm 2. He would scream at people to move up, and then as soon as it became clear to him, not everyone else, but as it was clear to him that no one was getting through there, he would walk away and be like, "Oh wow, well I guess those guys couldn't make it happen." It's like, no, dude, you kept pushing them in a bad spot.
That's why I made a point when we were at Game Pub for episode 2. We had episode 2 there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Daniel had me as like the second in command. And he was basically like, take a group of people to do this. I'd be yelling, but I'd be in front of the entire group doing the leading.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'd get shot, turn around, and like, I had 2 guys with me. All right.
It's way easier to get people to do what you want instead of saying like go over there to say follow me. Mm-hmm. That always works better. Okay. Wow, I've never actually seen this outside of Milsim games, but the guy that pisses while on the damn field, that's a new one.
I've only seen that at like Milsim events when there's no porta potties.
Yeah, the guy that shows his gun and always gets out. Not sure exactly what that means.
Is he like, look how cool my gun is, and then he's the first one out?
Well, maybe he's like he pokes his like barrel outside of a window and he gets seen.
Maybe,
or I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
The knockout tooth guy. That's either the guy who shoots someone and knocks out their tooth, or the guy who gets his teeth knocked out or tooth knocked out.
I haven't seen that happen very often. I know it happens, but like it seems like most people are pretty good at either wearing a mouthpiece or a hard mask thingamajig.
The Cry Dude. Yeah, that's actually something we talked about earlier. Ghillie Suit. Whiner. Yeah, that's definitely out there.
The ghillie suit, dude. It just makes me think of like the times I've played in like a desert environment, and there's like 1 or 2 dudes in the green like Wookiee suit walking around with like an M4.
Well, I mean, yeah, I would not want to have like a green ghillie suit in a desert environment.
Well, and it was also 100 degrees.
Yeah. The Whiner. Yeah, definitely those out there. The YouTuber. The Nerf guy, a.k.a. Bahab. Appreciate it. The FPS guy. Well, I'm not sure what that means. First-person shooter guy.
Or it means like the FIFA
second guy. The Leroy Jenkins. Those are always fun to play with. Bob, what are your thoughts on the AUG A3 Commando? Please respond. That's the one from Action Sport Games.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a really cool gun. There's not enough AUGs out there. There's a fair amount of interest in them. And also, our tech department just did a custom AUG A3 Commando. Cool. Yeah, you should definitely check that out.
See, pull a picture. Maybe show it.
Well, let me respond to more of these.
Okay.
Jeez, what does always happen? What's up, Vince?
Are you guys actually recording? Or are you guys done?
Oh no, we're
actually live.
Oh, you're actually live? Okay. Just so you know, everyone.
Camera.
We got Enola Gays in the California store now. Yeah.
I believe it's all 3 walk-in stores now carry Enola Gay smoke granadas.
And no, I'm just kidding.
I'd get fired horribly.
Yes, you would.
You would.
All right, Bill, why don't you go in and talk about this real quick? The mag flipper.
Oh, you mean the guy like I did in my one video? Yeah. Well, to be honest, I only did that for theatrics, and it looked good in like the video. I would never actually do that ridiculous like mag flip reload thing. Like to me, it's just easier if you really need to reload fast, just drop it, let it fly out of mag well, and put the new one in.
The guy who's friends with all the refs. That can be... I can see that going poorly, because I've heard of fields where, like, you know, there's a group of guys that are just really good buddies with all the refs, and then they complain about everyone else, get everyone else kicked off, and it kind of ruins the field. So, I mean, I don't think it's bad to, like, know your community, but I think, like, if you know the refs and use that to your advantage, then it gets to the bad territory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I just thought of one. The guy that sits way further back than the actual range of their gun.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot.
Yeah.
There's another good one. The guy who cooks off his grenade too long.
I remember one accidentally went off in my pocket because the pin fell out.
The C-clamper. The C-clamper. You know what that is, right? Yeah, of course. Yeah, a lot of people make fun of that, but...
it works well with real firearms.
Yeah.
Like in terms of competition shooting.
The wannabe super tactical Green Mountain Ranger, the guy who's always confused, the BFF, spawn camper, the stolen valor. I've definitely seen videos of that happening.
Yeah.
The sprayer, you get that in the paintball and airsoft. The blind shooter, that's always annoying. The team killer, that is definitely one of the most annoying things possible. I actually had a friend tell me about this recently where they're like, hey, here's the team. The team you're on is tan. The other team is green. And the guy's like, okay, cool, and goes out there and shoots all the tan guys on his own team. He's like, what? You told me this was
Remember a few weeks ago when
What?
we were playing
Yeah.
at SC?
And you
and
shot
I
Tim.
shot Tim.
We were playing, and like they had just pretty much cleared the field, and Bill and Tim were actually going up against the same
Like muzzle to muzzle.
Yeah, I was dead, and I was watching him, and I right as he shot Tim in the chest, I was saying, "Hey, Bill, there's an enemy." Just trying to screw with him, but like then before I could finish my sentence, you'd already team killed Tim. So that was funny.
Well, in my defense, he had his little that little strip of ribbon on the back of his head, so
yeah.
couldn't tell he was on my team.
All right, the anger issue guy. I've definitely seen videos of that where people like,
Oh man.
like remember that one video? I think it was out of Jericho when Jericho used to still be around as a guy who.
The fight?
Yeah, the fight. The guy who was like really
Saw
hooded out and was like, "You want to step to me, bro? You want to step to me, bro?"
You one that was saying that he was like a gang member?
Yeah, yeah,
No, that
yeah.
was Arizona. It
Oh.
looked like Jericho. It's Arizona.
Oh, okay.
But like, no, Jericho had to fight.
No, that's-
But yeah, no, I remember that because the guy's like, "Yo, man, I'll kill you in a second." And it's like, well, I'm recording this, and that is considered a terrorist threat. I'm going to go ahead and call the police.
Yes. Okay, let me scroll back just to see a few more. The overshooter, that sucks. I hate when that happens. And yeah, there are definitely always those people that do that. Sometimes, like, there's understandable circumstances. If it's dark, if you can't see, like,
Yeah.
or if you're not sure the person called themselves out.
Or it's like you put your hand up and the hand's behind the wall. It's like,
yeah. It's like, that's what dead rags are for.
That's why I always put my gun up and like both arms, but like, look, I'm dead. Don't shoot me.
The Novrich wannabe. I mean, I figured those would only have popped up recently since Novrich
Yeah.
like really burst onto the scene the past like year or so.
The snacker.
The snacker.
I can't eat when I'm on the field. I have a fear of removing my mask and getting shot as soon as I do it.
The father-son team. I don't think that's a bad thing. The hey, want to come play at my house instead guy, but his yard is tiny. That can be a buzzkill. The full auto guy when it's semi only. That's annoying. That's really annoying. The chair softer, the 60 round per second guy. We used to have one of those guys in our office.
Yeah, I think he got up to, was it 40 or 50
It was
the max?
it was 43 rounds a second.
And it wasn't even dual sector.
No, and the reason Mark did that, and Mark is a great guy, is that he wanted to push his guns to the limits tech-wise, so he loved teching guns. And it would be funny playing with him. It was always better to have him on your team than on the other team because, you know, obviously he'd be shooting with you, not against you. But I remember in Texas when he was playing, he let loose with his SCAR that was shooting 43 rounds a second, and the people on his own team took cover because they were like, Jesus. Yeah. Let's see some more of these. The excuse guy. The guy who thinks his gun isn't dry firing. What the heck is a chair softer? Bill, you want to re-explain that?
Okay, so for those of you that don't know, a chair softer is basically someone who has all the guns, kit, gear, and they never go play, and they just sit there at their keyboards being a chair, like basically, you know, part of the 501st Chairborne Division, giving all of their advice and saying everyone else is stupid, that they don't know any better, when they never go out and actually play.
All right, the new ref who enforces a BS rule and says he's been there longer than you, even though you've been going to the field for years and never seen the guy. I feel like you're talking about a specific instance, but I also feel like I've seen that before too.
Yeah, yeah.
Basically, a ref who's on a power trip.
Yeah.
So
So the guy no water.
Oh yeah, that's not smart. You definitely always want to hydrate, and as delicious as soda can be, I mean, if you're out there, you gotta hydrate.
Hey man, I haven't drank soda in like 3 months.
Here's your brownie point.
Thank you.
Okay.
I wanted that.
Show the KMP9. I want one. Bill, would you be a lamb and grab that
Where is
KMP9? It should be on the wall. Yeah, there you go.
Well, no, we rearranged the wall. I was looking up in the wrong corner.
Mm-hmm. The idiot. Nice, Jacob. Yeah, there are those at the field. This is a KWA KMP9. This is actually set up very similar to how I have my own personal one. This is a Brugger and Thomet mock barrel extension from Action Sport Games. I believe that's an NC Star Vism sight. It's a green dot with red laser.
I think this is an NC Star green.
Yeah, it's a green laser.
Yeah. I don't know if it still works or not.
Yeah, you got to screw it.
Oh.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, then maybe it's ran out of
Yeah,
batteries.
I think the battery's dead.
But yeah, this is a great gun. And actually, what I really like about it is that the center of weight is actually right around the pistol grip. So
Yeah.
you can use this gun one-handed with very little loss in accuracy. And that's specifically good for me so I can have the axe in my other hand.
Yeah. And they're loud.
They are very loud, which is totally awesome. The speed trigger dude. Yeah, I believe that.
Well, yeah, I think I remember seeing someone came out with a double step trigger for Airsoft.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Which one?
Sorry, hold on. You guys are coming up with a lot of really good stereotypes. I mean, not really good stereotypes, really ones I probably hadn't heard before. The World War II era guy, the YouTuber. The guy who uses a 40 millimeter at close range.
Well, it's a shotgun.
Yeah, it is a shotgun. Unless it's the one with the rocket round.
Well, yeah, that just hurts.
Yeah. Mil speed. I actually haven't heard that one before. The guy who complains about FPS regulations, even though his gun shoots 500 plus feet per second. The Scout the Doggy guy. I assume the Scout the Doggy guy would be someone who's out there filming.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's an advantage and a disadvantage. If they're not filming you, it's a total advantage because you can kind of get an idea of where someone's hiding.
Mm-hmm.
Disadvantage because someone else can see where you're hiding if they're filming you.
The name brand only guy. The Goggle Digger. I don't know what Goggle Digger would be. Okay, let's check out some more of these. The Paintballer.
The Shield dude.
The Shield guy.
Yes.
That's an interesting stereotype because I feel like I see those not all the time, but definitely at a wide variety of fields. Now hear me out on this, is that when I first saw shields, I was like, cool, this is an evolution of airsoft, and people are just going to have to adapt and overcome. However, there are, certain situations where it is, like, patently unfair.
Well, like, here's my thought. If you have that clear plastic one, if that gets shot, you should be done.
Why?
Because a real riot shield that's made out of polyurethane, a bullet's going to go straight through. If you have one of those reproduction, like, giant Russian ones, yeah, those are actually legitimately have some bullet resistance to them.
I guess, like, using that theory, like, I personally would be okay. I would be okay with someone using a shield that has, like, a viewport. It doesn't have to be a Russian one, but I've seen people that...
But I mean, like, one where it's just, like, all clear plastic.
Yeah,
like,
that's more of, like, just a riot shield, like a hand-to-hand combat riot shield. Yeah, I can see how that's frustrating. The Bear Jew. Nice. That's actually a reference to Inglourious Basterds.
Well, yeah, I know. Yeah, the Bear Jew.
Mr. Kill Counter. That's annoying. The Plastic Singer. I don't know what that
I think
means.
it's supposed to be Springer.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. The
Yeah, nothing
African
wrong with
Warlord.
keeping track of your kills. I used to do that with my pistol because I rarely use that thing.
Wow. The gets shot in the nuts by rocket while in the buggy guy.
You mean
I feel
Josh
like I know
Mitchell?
Who you are. That's from the American SMG, and I don't know if that's Josh Mitchell commenting that, but Josh Mitchell's certainly the guy that got shot in the crotch while sitting in the buggy. And that was hilarious.
That was freaking hilarious.
Yeah, because I thought he got, like, if I remember correctly, like, he got hit in the nuts.
Yeah.
Then the next shot knocked the
light out or
off, and
something
then he
like
got
that.
hit in the face. It was like, oh, light knocked off, and then boom, oh, like, it was hilarious. And they're loading the rocket so fast.
Well,
it was
because
like
they
1,
had
2,
a thing.
3.
It was Vince and I forget who was it that had the rocket? Paul. And like they had a thing that Paul would pop it, Vince load, click, thunk, open, load, click, and just like it was like a machine.
Yeah, they were really fast. Bob, you missed Tim. I absolutely missed Tim. However, I'm going to see him pretty regularly, and I have been seeing him regularly. And if you want to see him, you should buy a ticket to our upcoming BB Wars game at GamePod Combat Zone on July 30th to 31st. Now, it's called BB Wars Origins Airsoftology. Tim Sargent from Chris USA is going to be there representing Crytek, and Jonathan from Airsoftology will be commanding the Imperial side, and I'll be commanding the Rebel side. You ought to get your tickets now because there are going to be some great raffle prizes from Crytek. before we mention any more of these Airsoft Stereotypes, and you guys are coming up with a lot of great ones, Bill and I want to tell you about, we've actually got a special sale going on this weekend, 4th of July weekend. 4th of July is a Monday, for those of you that don't know. And our sale is going to encapsulate a lot of different things. First and foremost of which is a discount. If you use ID4, you can get 24% off of all the products on our website, excluding map items and sale items. Now, in addition, we're going to be having map drops this weekend on a wide variety of companies. We actually put out some, if you check our Twitter, put out some images there as well as our Instagram, but you're definitely going to want to take advantage of this because, again, map drops do not happen all the time. In fact, they happen rarely, only times when we can have really good sales. So you want to check that out this weekend and make sure you can, if you want to, you can head to each one of our walk-in stores. Our sales are going to be going on from coast to coast in California, Texas, and Virginia.
The MRE guy.
MREs are great.
I honestly, I'm not gonna lie. When I was in Oklahoma, I had one, and I had Eric with this, and he showed me how to cook it and actually make it good since he served.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, this actually doesn't suck as much as they. He's like, well, it's because you got the good one first of all. And I showed him how to make it. Because I was like, I'm gonna go buy an MRE. Which ones do I avoid?
Yeah, that's the truth. You got to get a good one. Anton, do you send to Finland? Yes, we do. We actually ship all over the world. What you want to do is add whatever you want to your cart and hit the global checkout button. It's going to let you know about any duties, taxes, or fees ahead of time before you buy. So it's pretty darn helpful. The Rager, yeah, that's the one who duct tapes his gun. I'm one of those guys as well because duct tape works for everything.
I've done it before too.
Yeah, I mean, I actually duct tape a flashlight onto my AK, which I was playing a Russian at a Milsim game, and someone told me like, "Oh no, Bob, that's really Russian." I was like, "Really? Oh, okay." All
Mine was, I think it was, what was the one? Assault on Antioch.
Mm-hmm.
The laser I had had no mount for it, so I'm like, tape it on.
Yeah, hey, it's stupid, but works.
Because it's when they got the fog machines. I was like, I have to have a laser.
Mm-hmm. The banana suit guy. Thank you, David Hong. I was actually going to mention that earlier. There's a player up who plays at GamePod. I think he works at GamePod now. His name is Kalen Song of Team Airsoft VAD, Airsoft Vicious and Delicious, with the skull and cross bacon. I remember that's their team sigil. Yeah, he was dressed as a banana, and what was impressive is that throughout the day, he was actually able to sneak up on a lot of different people and just waste fire teams wholesale.
In a banana suit.
And it's funny because I would ask people, hey, who backdoored you guys? Who ambushed you guys? And they'd be like, that guy. I'd be like, how did he do it? He's in a bright yellow banana suit. Come on, guys, rear security. The guy who snuck up to Bob. That was a good player, although he may have broken the rules a little bit. It was at Assault on Antioch. Mm-hmm. He went off the field and then came back on, which is right where my command post is, right where our respawn is, and he actually walked up to me like super calm. And he's like, hey, Bob, I want to talk to you for a second. And I looked at him, and I looked down, and there was a pistol pointed into my gut. And I literally looked at the pistol, looked at his BDUs and his woodland. I was like, oh, shit. And he's like, let's talk, let's walk and talk. And he just kind of walked me and talked with me for a little bit. And I just kind of waited a few seconds, and then he was looking up at me. So without changing where I was looking, I just grabbed from my 1911, pulled out the holster, and shot him in both his legs. And he was like, oh. So at the end of the day, I was like, all right, guys, I just want to throw a huge shout out to this guy who snuck in my command post. I mean, realistically, that is kind of cheating to go off the field and then literally respawn at my command post.
Yeah.
So not fair, but it was pretty fun. The guy who asked to see your gun. That's mostly a compliment. So I guess if they did that too often, that would be annoying. Okay, Alvaro Martinez. Please forgive me if I didn't say your name properly, but your shout out is approved. Let's see. Let me scroll back up to see more stereotypes. The I'm hit medic guy. Well, there's a lot of people that do that. Did you say the sale is going to be going on for a week after July 4th or a week before 4th of July? Well, it'd be going on before 4th of July. I believe it's going on from July 1st to the 2nd.
Which is Friday, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be having this Friday and this Saturday. July 1st through the 2nd, you can use that coupon code. You can head to our walk-in stores and take advantage of those map drops. And for those of you that don't know, that means minimum advertised price. That means normally most incredibly popular brands, we cannot sell below that price. So for this weekend and this sale only, we're going to be able to finally discount those guns. So, let's say you wanted a gun from VFC or a gun from Elite Force, Knights Armament, Ares. Those are all companies that have, map pricing. However, this weekend, they will be dropped by specific amounts, and it's specific to each company. So yeah, if you want to get a gun from a lot of companies that we've advertised for, you can check that out on Twitter and I believe Facebook as well. You can save some serious money on those guns you've been waiting to get. Isn't that right, Bill?
Mm-hmm.
Good work. Let's see. The guy who... This is a good one because we were dealing with this earlier. The guy who compares $100 guns to $1,000 guns. It's really annoying to us because we hear a lot of complaints, especially when we talk about new custom guns that have come out of the tech department that are like, $600, $800, $1,000. The guns are completely and utterly worth it. And we understand that a lot of folks out there, myself included, don't have the budget to go out and buy a $1,000 gun. However, for a lot of folks out there in the community do have some unrealistic expectations like, hey, I want a gun that's like $200 that can outrange everything else, that has a heavy rate of fire, that's never going to break down. It's like, you're not going to get all that in one package for $200.
It's an old adage because I used to work on my car and build hot rods and stuff like that. And there's 3 things that you have to choose from: low price, high power, high quality. You can only pick 2.
Yeah.
Because if you want low price and high power, you're going to have bad quality and it's going to probably break. Or I should say, instead of quality, reliability. You want high reliability, high power, well, it's going to cost you a pretty penny. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, and the one that always bugs me is like, oh, I could build that gun for like $300.
Then why didn't you?
Then put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah. We get a bit bitter about it because we just get those comments all the time.
Yeah.
The gang member. Thankfully, I personally haven't seen too many of those in the field.
I've never encountered. I've only seen that one video.
Yeah.
Where the guy was like claiming to be, I don't know which one it was, but some gang in Arizona. Or
the guy was a douche.
He was.
The guy in the T-Rex suit. I want to see one of those. I would love to see one of those at a game.
Especially because his head flops back as it runs.
The reenactor guy. Yeah, I believe that. The sniper in CQB. That sucks to be that guy. The guy who shows up in full gear to his first game. I actually remember seeing that back in paintball too. It's like someone who just got into the game and they've got like a full kit and HPA set up, all these pods, like pretty much like someone who, either their parents, gave them a lot of money or they happen to have a lot of money and just went full bore for their first game, got everything they wanted before knowing what really works well together.
Yeah, I feel like everyone has to have a cross draw once at one time.
Yeah.
You have to put in your time in the
in all fairness, like I got a cross draw when I first got into Airsoft because that was also like one of the cool things that was out there.
Yeah. Well, I think my first one was like cross draw. It was the one where it's like a zip, but instead of the cross draw, it was just
mag pouches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just put a pistol in the pouch.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me scroll up. The guy who brings a Nerf axe. What a douche that guy would be. The guy who still thinks it's cool to wear his hat backwards. All right. Hey, Craig. Banach, please forgive me if I said your name incorrectly. I wear my hat backwards in Airsoft for a very specific reason, so that I can protect my forehead and the back of my neck when I wear my full face mask. It actually works out pretty well. However, yeah, I think it's literally just to protect my neck and my forehead. So
I just wear it like normally backwards because like when I'm indoors, when I'm like this, sometimes I don't like not seeing up like above me, like if I'm working and stuff like that, like I like to have some form of, because I sit right in front of the door, so I like to have some form of like peripheral upward as I'm working.
I saw a picture of a guy at a baseball game, and he had the hat backwards, and I think the caption was, it was actually, they put this up on the big screen, is a guy does not know how to use baseball cap. So okay, let's see. You guys should close your stores when Battlefield 1 comes out. Yeah, that's actually not the worst idea ever. It's. I mean, from my point of view, it just might so happen that a lot of people, happen to call in sick that day.
When is it supposed to come out anyway?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't know. I've been watching. If you guys have ever seen Level Cap Gaming, it's a really great channel. And he had a chance to play Battlefield 1 with a lot of other YouTubers for the first time, and he's posted a lot of different loadout videos and guides like the tank guide, the assault player's guide, and he also put up, I believe, 44 minutes of footage raw, which is pretty awesome.
I was seeing people starting to complain like, oh god, it's not a realistic representation of World War I. It's like, well, it's a freaking video game. You really want them to be in tanks that go half a mile an hour while you just sit in trenches at opposite sides and do nothing?
Yeah. But hold on, let's go through a few more before the live show ends, because we only got a few minutes left. That gun sucks guy.
Yup.
Yep. Let's see.
What is a good rail system for a? Well, they say Polar Star M16.
He's literally just asking for the question.
Oh. I thought. See.
What is a good rail system for?
Well, no, because that's the one. That's a question I always see when like doing the product questions. Like, what's a good rail system for this guy? What's a good rail system for that? What's a good rail system? And it's always like an M4, and it's like whichever one your heart desires.
Quad rail. The I didn't feel it guy. That gets really infuriating because like. There are a number of times, and I've been playing Airsoft for a long time, you go around a corner and you shoot someone in the gear and you don't want to be a dick about it. So you shoot them like maybe once or twice or 3 times in the gear and they turn around and light you up in full auto close range. You'd be like, dude, I shot you. And it's like, well, sorry, I didn't feel it. It's like, well, yeah, you didn't feel it because you're wearing like 40 pounds of gear. How about you call yourself out? It's like, what do you think I was doing standing right here with my gun pointed at you making noise? Like, what do you think happened? Like, that's one thing that gets me upset. Yeah. Is like when you come in, you waste a bunch of dudes, and then they shoot you. You tell them that, and they're like, "Sorry, dude, didn't feel it. You better call yourself out." It's like, no, you got to get out. Like, God, it's so annoying, so infuriating. I'm bitter. I'm totally bitter.
I can tell.
Okay. Well, it seems like the arrogance of like, no, sorry, I didn't feel it. You got to leave.
Yeah. God. The military call sign guy.
Yep. Green River 6, this is Green River 6. What is your call sign? Alpha, Delta, Bravo, Alpha, Alpha, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it's like, just stop. Unless it's a goofy nickname, just stop.
Yeah. The guy who snuck, I already talked about the guy who snuck up the Bob. All right, let's see if there are any more. The medic that does not revive you, dude.
Yup.
That's a funny one. It's like when you're screaming for medic, the guy sees you and runs off somewhere else.
The AK purist.
Now...
The one that no matter what AK it is, even if it's like a really cool looking one, the modern one that's like based off of, let's say, what specimens or whoever used it, like, it looks horrible because it doesn't have the wood. It's like, well, have you seen what the modern guys use? They're not running around with a wooden stock and a wooden grip.
I actually hear a lot of people say like, wow, why'd you get an AK then turn it into an M4?
Yeah, it's like, well... I'm sorry, maybe I like to aim a little bit easier, because let's be honest, the iron sights on an AK, and even my Mosin and the Gaunt, they suck.
Well, it's weird. Like, I actually vacillate between being an AK purist on some days and being a tactical AK guy on other times, because when I go out to Milsim games, I generally use my just basic AK. It's my old Tokyo Marui AK that our tech souped up so that it actually functions now.
Oh, there you go.
But then, when I go to BB Wars games, sometimes I'll use the tactical AK because I want to put anything I want on it.
Yeah.
So... the guy who has 0 gun smarts. I feel like you're trying to point out someone in particular because you put his name in parentheses. Let's see. The Call of Duty guy, the colorblind guy. I've never ran into colorblind guys, although I would feel bad. It kind of stinks.
Yeah, I know someone who's colorblind.
They actually make glasses for that now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I don't understand how it works.
Yeah,
but...
me neither. The Headshotter. Nice. Let's see. What plate carriers do you use? What do you think of the JPC? I personally think the JPC is a great option. I personally don't like it because I'm kind of a bigger build as far as my body. I generally use the Spectre modular plate carrier, and I know that's what you generally use as well.
Yeah, we have the same plate carrier.
Also, another good option is the Gunner plate carrier from Condor, the Mop C from Condor. Those are both great options.
If you're Airsoft. If you're a bigger dude, the quick release one's pretty good too from Condor. Oh, someone I saw, they put AK sights are better than M4. Honestly, I think they're on the same level. My favorite iron sights to aim through are M14. I think those are the easiest sights to actually get a good picture in.
The no water guy. Yeah, definitely not good to be that guy.
Idea.
The African warlord. The Bob the X-Man fanboy guy. Stop it. The man... Okay. Let's see. The guy who learned about guns from video games.
Oh, yeah. The honey badger. No. Stop. Please.
The video gamer. The Milsimers at the CQB field. The guy whose battery dies out. The frozen paintballer guy. What an extraordinary douche that guy is.
Yeah,
have you ever seen that?
No, well, I've heard that they don't break. It's basically shooting rocks.
Yeah, you can get arrested for that.
Yeah, really?
Oh, yeah, well, it's intent to cause harm.
Ah.
Yeah. Actually...
Is that a felony or just a misdemeanor?
No, I think it's a misdemeanor. Because I saw it happen back in Bakersfield when I used to play paintball. It was actually the same field where Lion Claws 1 was at.
They didn't melt before they shot them?
Well, that's the thing. It was hot. And I saw this guy pull his paintballs out of a cooler. And I was like, that's weird. Because I know paintballs can melt in extreme heat. Yeah. But when we're out there, I saw this one guy's paintballs just veering off one side or the other, like really weirdly. I was like, what is going on? I was like, hey, ref, like, why is that guy's paintballs doing that? He's like, oh, I know. And then he stopped the game immediately, pulled that guy off, and had him put to the side for a while. And I don't think the cops showed up, but that guy was banned from the field forever.
Wow.
So because one side of the paintball was frozen, which is
Oh.
why it was like flying really weird.
And also, I mean, because there's liquid in there, is there an air bubble still in there? Because if it freezes with an air bubble, it's gonna still.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. I've never dissected the paintball, so.
The person who always needs a mag, the guy who uses high caps, the jihadi in a Milsimer Airsoft game. You can't freeze paintballs. Okay, well, maybe I'm not correct. Maybe he got them super cold, but I feel pretty certain that there are people that have done that.
Freeze them.
The tactical reloads at realism guy. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Hey, Bob mentioned my guy. Which one is that? Fender 3. The guy with the pistol who wants to try your rifle. The CSGO skin guy. I'm not sure how you would get Counter-Strike Global Offensive skins on a gun, other than if you were really good, did a really good paint job. Never forget the Russian. Nice. The guy I shot through the bush, but it counts as a ricochet guy. I'll bet that's probably pretty frustrating. You know, someone stands behind a bush and they count everything as ricochets.
It's ricochet. Yeah, it's ricochet.
That's
No!
ricochet.
Stop it.
The guy that cries. Ugh, that's like embarrassing.
I've never seen that.
I mean, if someone gets like overshot point blank, like you know, there can be a certain amount of pain that's too much for some people.
I mean, or if you like break your ankle or something.
The quote unquote trick shotter. I've never heard someone like claim to be a trick shotter. That'd be pretty lame. I think it'd be lame. The kid who wears 4 jackets. I've seen that once.
That's a good way to get heat stroke.
Yeah, that is a very good way to get heat stroke. The guy who asks for BBs. Is it awkward to get hit by a guy with a pink airsoft gun? I personally think it's funny. Pink is totally a power color in my book. If you can lock down pink, you can lock down anything.
I honestly don't care if you shoot me with pretty much anything. It's like, alright, cool. Like, it doesn't matter if it's pink, purple, rainbow. Like, I don't care.
For me...
I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm so masculine because I got shot by a pink gun. Like, that's the most stupid thing.
Well, for my money, if I see a dude, like, kick down a door and blast me in the chest with a pink airsoft gun, I'm going to be like, that's my guy. That's my guy.
Especially if it's got, like, Hello Kitty on it, I'm going to just laugh.
Yeah. The HPA guy who said he is only shooting on semi-auto. Yeah, I mean, it's weird. There are a lot of folks that, with HPA setups, that will shoot on semi-auto, but will shoot semi so fast it might as well be full auto. I mean, that's basically a way for folks with HPA builds to get around the, no full auto rule with HPA guns. I mean, the trigger response on those guns is, phenomenal, so I can see how they do it.
I saw one. The guy that goes into pro shops every day and doesn't buy anything.
Gosh,
that was me when I was in college, because my college, Cal Poly Pomona, is literally just down the street from the walk-in store. So
bright orange gun guy. I like that you put in the parenthesis UK, because that is actually one of the laws there. I got shot in the windpipe from 4 feet away. I cried. Fair, yeah. I mean,
fair enough.
Sometimes some people can say like, "Hey, stop being a wuss," but sometimes like, certain things in certain places will kind of put you out of action. Like, I'll be honest, I got shot in the Liberty Bell a number of years ago, and while I didn't cry, I definitely exited the field for a few minutes just to like collect my manhood and just like reassess.
Yeah.
And then go back out.
Happened to my brother-in-law too. Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna take a break.
Yeah. Like, I remember getting triple tapped in the tip, and I was like, I just need.
Give me a minute.
I just need the troll, yeah, the Springer guy. I think the Springer guy is awesome because it's hard to get a kill with those.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we are running. Oh wow, we went overtime. We'll mention a few more, and then we got to get going. The see-through airsoft gun. Yeah, that's generally a Springer. Mr. Rambo, the guy who doesn't shoot so he can save ammo. I've never seen that.
I've never.
Because BBs are so cheap.
The only time I could see that is if you're using a gas blowback and it's like you're limited on physical ammo on how much you have on you, and it's a Milsimer event, and let's say you're like a mile away from reloading, then yeah, you're gonna pick your shots.
Frank Wood says Bob lost his man keys in all caps. Tell me how. I'm curious. Because I got shot in the Liberty Bell.
Lost his man keys?
I don't know.
Is that like a man card?
I assume so. I've never heard man keys before.
I haven't either.
The guy that buys a Walmart airsoft gun, the guy who always dry fires, the trying to be a badass guy, t-shirt and shorts. That's a classic. The guy with the minigun.
Chickens.
The liberal. Chickens. Oh, yeah, nice. Well, I don't know what that means.
Mr. Grudge match. It's like what? You just having a giggle there, mate? 1v1 me in real life.
The ghillie suit indoors guy. I've never seen that before.
I've only seen,
The angry dad. What's up, Courtney Ely? Please forgive me if I didn't say your name. The guy who fills mid caps with his fingers. That.
Some people do that.
Yeah, I guess. I remember thinking I would do that in airsoft, and that like I would load like. I'd like treat it like it's a real gun and like load it like one because it takes so long.
The only time I load by hand is like pistol mags if like my speed loader is like broken or something like that.
This is a good one from Raptor Airsoft. Mr. Rental. I just like how it's said. That was a really good. Mr. Rental. I mean, everybody rents airsoft guns like when you get going, or at least most people do. That's how I did it.
I did. My first one I bought, but it was an AGM.
Look at you. All right. The guy's scared of getting hit. Best Full Metal M4 for budget. That's obviously a question.
On budget.
Yeah, it really depends on your budget. I mean, right off the bat, like I would recommend, there's the Full Metal G4 series from us. That's our in-house brand. That's really good using Lonex internal parts.
Elite Force ones on sale? Are those Full Metal?
I don't know which ones you're going to have to be more specific.
I can't remember.
Okay, then let me give an actual recommendation. The KWA KM4, it's a full metal gun. The price is brought down. It's available on our website. That is a high-quality gun for a mid-tier price, so that's a very good one. Also, again, our Full Metal G4 series, the FMG4s. The guy who curses 24/7, the complainer, the guy that sits in the back, the one guy that swears by M81 Woodland.
I don't swear by it. I just like it.
I'm looking at him because he's like, oh, M81 Woodland. I'm going to wear this all the time. You say it while doing this. Blah, 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 blah.
I wore a lot because I like the look of it. Like
I personally like the look of it.
It goes with black gear. That's why.
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, your setup does look good. It's just there was a period where you kept talking about like, yeah, I really want to get Woodland with this.
Yeah.
With that face. Yeah. Okay. Oh man. The box of 1,000 BBs a kill guy. Nice. Okay. The guy who brings 10 guns to a CQB field. Guy that shoots all of his teammates. The dead guy. Soul Seeker 178. What's going on? When your teammates confuse you for an enemy. The guy who... What's your thoughts on the KCO2 by KJW, please, Bob? Haha. Nice.
Clever.
Good bait and switch. Let me look that up, and that'll probably be the last question we do.
KCO2, that was?
Yeah. I wish this wasn't like all the way to the side. It feels really awkward to like...
Yeah, it's... Because it's like I'm looking this way the entire time.
Yeah. Okay.
If the interwebs loads.
Let's see... The 4 GoPros guy. Why don't you talk about that for a second, Bill, while I look this up?
Well, I've never seen someone with 4 GoPros, but I've seen, like, GoPro on the helmet, Contour on the gun. I feel like those are the only 2 places I've seen it. Like,
well, you get like GoPro on the helmet, either the side or the front. You got the reverse camera on the gun, and then you got the zoom camera out there, and then you got the third-person camera off to the side.
I've never seen that one.
Brain Exploder does it, and Novrich does it too. Shoot, it's weird. I've heard of the KCO2, but I can't seem to find it. So let me go look online.
Who is it? KWA?
No, KGW KCO2.
Oh, okay.
It sounds so familiar to me.
There it is, first one.
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah.
it's the 22, right?
Yeah, the KJW 22. Now I got to remember what the question was about.
Your thoughts on that?
Oh. I think it's a really fun gun. It doesn't have a huge amount of mag capacity. Excuse me.
You're excused.
Thank you. It doesn't have a lot of mag capacity. So, I do recommend that gun. I think it's a great gun. It's actually a very good counter sniper gun. It's semi-auto. So I just tell people, if they're going to get that gun, make sure you get a couple spare mags. That's definitely necessary for that gun. But it's a great gun. I would highly suggest you get it, especially if you want to do counter sniping, if you want to do long range shots. It's a really fun gun. So yeah, totally, you should get that. All right, let's see if there's like maybe 1 or 2 more questions. The multicam only guy. The guy with non-matching camo. So cringy. That can look good, and it mostly looks bad.
Well, I mean, if you do, let's say if you had like M81 pants and then like an OD shirt.
The guy who always falls when running at the start of a game. That is hilarious, in my personal opinion. Dick butt! Someone asked us to scream it. Okay. Bob, what are your recommendations for just starting airsoft and thoughts on using the KWA KR14 as DMR? Yeah, I mean, I think that's an option you can use. I don't think there's anything necessarily negative about it. And as far as like getting into airsoft, I think it's a good thing to like go out to a field, rent a gun, and try and playing first and see what kind of gun you might want to get if airsoft is for you and how it feels. Because some people getting into it, it's unfortunate when I see people like invest a lot of money in a sport they don't understand yet, and they buy the wrong things for what they want to do. So I think it's always good to either go out with a friend or go to a local field and tell them, it's your first time, you want to rent a gun, and obviously you can get learned up on it really quickly, and then you can get either a beginner gun, a mid-tier gun, or a higher end gun, basically whatever you want to fit your play style. Your thoughts?
Pretty much everything on the head.
Okay. All right, last one. This is the last stereotype before we gotta go. The pool noodle melee guy. Those are very game pod for the zombie game.
Oh, I wasn't there. That's why.
Unacceptable. They are very effective. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching our live show. We've got a lot of you folks in here today for the live show in particular, and make sure to stay tuned to our Facebook page, our Instagram, and our Twitter. We're actually going to be doing more live shows on Facebook as well throughout the week, in addition to this live show on YouTube on our Tuesdays. Also, make sure to come on out to our California walk-in store. We just put a new targeting system in from G&G, so it's a lot of fun on the actual firing range out there. And in addition to all of that, two more things. We've got BB Wars coming up on the East Coast and the West Coast. We've got BB Wars Battlefront Spider Hole on, I believe, July 24th in Virginia. We've also got BB Wars Origins Airsoftology sponsored by Crytac, a.k.a. Chris USA as well. That's a parent company.
Two-day event.
Yeah, that'll be a 2-day event, July 30th and 31st. Now, Tim from Chris USA will be there. Airsoftology Jonathan will be there commanding the Imperial side, and I will be there commanding the Rebels. So buy your tickets for that. It's going to be awesome. There's going to be a great raffle. If you're on the East Coast, head on out to BB Wars Battlefront Spider Hole. And on top of all of that, we are going to be having our 4th of July sale this weekend. It's going to be on July 1st and 2nd. That's Friday and Saturday at each one of our walk-in stores from coast to coast, California, Texas, and Virginia. We've got a special coupon code ID4 that you can use for 24% off all of our items except for map and sale items. In addition to that, we're going to have map drops, essentially discounts on companies we can't normally ever discount this weekend and this weekend alone. So head on over to our walk-in stores or shop with us online, and hopefully you guys have a good, fun, and very safe 4th of July weekend. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye. Say goodbye, Bill.
I said goodbye.
No, say it again.
Say goodbye.
Bye.